Okay, folks, we're going to be switching back. As you probably saw the announcement from Dr. Jeffries, we're going to be switching back from Dr. Jeffries over to me, Professor Penland, and we'll be doing that basically this week. And so I wanted to explain a few things about how we're going to go about it, so it's as painless as possible. And I've got to stop and just say it's a heartfelt, sincere thanks to Dr. Jeffries for stepping in. There is honestly nobody else I would rather have step for me than her. She does a magnificent job, and she is magnificent at doing this. And so a heartfelt thanks to her. And I'll make this as smooth as possible to transition back. So she was definitely my pretty much my only choice to come in and step in for me, and I thank her for that sincerely. So let me walk through how we're going to go about the switch over. Because it's a little bit rough, but we'll get it done. Okay, so let me shrink myself down to a bite size here. There I go. And I'm going to go over the kind of changing the guard here, and I will get into what we'll be doing in the coming day or so. Okay, so give me a second here. Let me start off by pointing out a few things about some of the differences. Okay. Yeah, my name is spelled a little bit differently, but okay, let's go through some of it. These are some of the differences, and I want to be clear. Again, Dr. Jeffries has substituted for me before, and she really knows her stuff, and I recognize that, but we do things differently, okay? We do things differently. I just wanted you aware of some of the differences, so as we switch over, you're not caught off guard, okay? I use, as you can see from this, I use videos for presentation. I've got a camera in my office. I've got a microphone. Look at this microphone. Woohoo! So I do videos for it, where she writes up a lot of things and produces an enormous amount of writing. I use primarily videos. So in the discussions, I'm reading through all of her discussions, and I can see she's got a magnificent handle on everything. One of the differences is it's just in the presentation. I might put up a discussion around a name of a reading, where she was doing it week 1, week 3. She was naming it by week. It's still basically the same thing. I might put up a discussion for, coming up on Keynes or Marx or something like that, where it won't be titled week 13 or something like that. It'll be under a name, but I'll send out an announcement to make sure you guys know that the Marx or the Keynes or whichever reading, whichever discussion's coming up. But basically, she just titles them a little bit differently. Okay, so it won't go by the week title. So, and a pedagogical difference is I really focus on what's called epistemology and how knowledge is created within the fields. And I know I've seen all the discussions that she's walked through. She has you guys reading like crazy on the readings I've put up. I handed off, and she was able to step in and take this over, which was amazing. And what I do is I bunch up the readings according to field. So as you have seen, probably, I have the economics unit where I do Smith, Marx, Keynes, and Friedman, and have everybody go through that. And then I really pound away at the economics issues. But I've seen that she's led discussions already on Smith and other things, and so she's already given you kind of a heads up on aspects of these different fields. But I might do it a little bit differently, where I bunch 4 of them together and do that. And I'm going through right now, and I'm figuring out how to bunch the readings together according to what you've already accomplished. So there's probably going to be some overlap, a little bit of overlap, but you might have a slightly different approach. Like I know you guys have gone through Smith, and I've seen it, and I might go through Smith again, but slightly differently, and join them up with Marx and Keynes, but there's going to be some overlap. Okay, so just be aware of that. So there's not a radical problem with that. That's not a big deal. So we'll do the epistemological approach that I usually do, but she goes in through the readings. She knows what she's doing with them. So there's 6 weeks remaining. Okay, we're in the 10th week. I will organize things around those 6 weeks. Give me a little bit of time. I will be doing this Tuesday and Wednesday and probably Thursday. I will reorganize them. Go ahead and complete the current calendar that she put together. Okay, so she has you finishing another discussion and another assignment, and go ahead, finish that while I go through and reconstitute the assignments for the end. And I will tell you this, most of my units are 4 weeks long. I can't fit that into a 6-week period. I've got to somehow either blow one up and make it 6 weeks, or take 2 and make them into 3 weeks and chop them down a little bit. And that's what I'm probably going to do, okay? I'm probably going to chop 2 of my units, the economics unit and the religious studies, into smaller units that are 3 weeks in length. And again, having looked over what's been done, and give me a little bit of time to study it and figure it out. But for now, go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish the assignments that she has for you later this week. Okay? So there's a discussion and then the CTR, or those assignments. Go ahead and finish those and expect to finish it. Okay? So I've got over here, I've got the course right here. And she's got these 2 discussions up, and I'm finishing reading through all the discussions. And you can see they're somewhat different. So go ahead and finish your discussion number 11, or I guess it is, by November 4th. I guess that's, November 6th, I think she has the last day on it, or 7th. Finish that up, okay? I'll go to the calendar for a moment here. Finish up hers. It's 7th as she's got the last discussion. Finish that up, and I will pick it up right after that. I will be reworking this calendar according to what I want to get done in these last 6 weeks or so. So look back to the calendar, and you'll know what's coming up, and I will put this up in a video and explain what we're doing. But I have to go back and look at the overlap, and there's going to be some. And there's going to be a slightly different approach to this, that, or the other thing. That's great. So consider Dr. Leontine's approach to be kind of a head start on jumping into mine. So for example, let me jump back to so again, keep an eye on this. I will be altering this and fleshing it out over the next few days. So give me a little bit of time to do that, and I'll definitely do that with you guys. I'll have everything posted up here, but I've got to kind of get back into the mode, so to speak. And then last thing, a little bit of the new units coming. Again, it's all likelihood, it's pretty dang sure it's going to be economics and religious studies are the ones that I can see that I can go more into depth on. But I know that she's already done overlapped some of these things. I read through some of most of the Buddha discussions and the Smith discussions. Usually what I do is I do Smith, Marx, Keynes, and Friedman, and then for the economics one, and then in the religious studies I do Genesis, St. Matthew, Buddha, and Muhammad. I know she's already covered Buddha, so I will have to decide on how to do this one and how to reshuffle things. In all likelihood, I'll be chopping off the Milton Friedman reading and sticking to the 3 biggies, Smith, Marx, and Keynes. And I'll see about with the religious study ones if I do it that way. That's where it's probably going to go. But I just want you to know I am not going to be pushing, as Dr. Leontine, Dr. Jeffries doesn't push you in a certain direction, guides you as you work through it. And that's essentially what I do. So I don't push with economics. I don't push a certain view, but I want you to understand how the economics field works, and certain things, how theories and things like that, notions work within the field. Okay, and also in religious studies, I'm not going to tell you what to believe and what not to. That's your convictions of faith. That's yours. But I do want to, if you've taken a religious studies course, you know that you're not told what church to go to. You shouldn't be. But I know some students get a little bit nervous about it. But I go through what are the religious concepts, the theological concepts, and some of the history behind how the texts were produced. Okay, so what you would encounter going into the field in an academic way. Okay, I'm not telling you what to believe in here. You still go to and do whatever you want Sunday, and I have perfect regard for it, nothing but respect for people's different convictions, no matter which way they go in. Okay, if they're religious or non-religious, if they're going towards Buddhism or Baptist, whichever, I do respect. So I do want you to know I am working on it and considering how to reconstitute it. But boy, oh boy, looking at what's been going on in the course and what's gone on with the discussions, I want to make sure I account for what's gone on, but we'll be going into that coming up. So expect me to have this calendar refigured and have some things reconstituted. But again, a last second, I don't know if Professor Jeffries is going through this, but thank you to her, sincere. And again, I can't tell you guys, I could not have found a better person to take this class over during that time period than Dr. Jeffries. And I will continue going over all the work. And I do want to assure everybody, I am taking all of her grades into my grade for the course, okay? So what you have accomplished with Dr. Jeffries will be part of the assessment of what you get for a grade for the final grade. So I give the final grade for the class, but boy, is it going to be based on everything you've accomplished with Dr. Jeffries, because I'm going through it all and I know she knows what she's doing. So I want to assure everybody it will be a handoff, not a new set of downs, okay, so to speak. All right, so so that's just what I want to go to. So coming up over the next few days, just keep an eye on the calendar, and I will jump in with another video pretty darn soon. But I do thank all of you guys for being patient with us throughout this. I think I mentioned before that I'd bonked my head. I did bonk my head. I had to go through a recovery. I was not allowed by my neurologist, let alone a lot of other people too, to come back in yet. So I'm now given the approval to come back in, and that's how we're doing it. So I'm good to go. If you need to contact me or get in touch with me over the next couple of days or even throughout the rest of the semester, I will be around in my office. You've probably seen me wandering around the building. I wasn't allowed to teach, but I was taking care of stuff any old way. So that's it. I will be around primarily on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you need to get a hold of me, come on in. I'm especially here early in the morning from 8 o'clock until 9:30, and then I go off to class, and then I'm around in the afternoons, okay? Take care, folks, and I thank you again for your patience, and be keeping an eye out on the calendar, and we'll be taking things off from here. All right, take care. Bye now.